Evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? I'm Wardy. Welcome to SC2 Improved Team League America, and for some pretty good games tonight, as we have a couple of IvD games. In fact, the last two games from IvD from the group stages. First of all, we're going to be seeing IvD Gaming versus Seed Gaming, and there's going to be a bunch of Zerg players playing in this, as Seed are pretty much a primarily Zerg only team right now. I struggle to think of a player on Seed who isn't a Zerg player. And I mean, their strongest players, Solo and Prebz, are definitely all Zergs. So I mean, we're probably going to see a lot of Zergs in this first series of the day. It is IvD Gaming against Seed. It is going to be cast from replays. It was live about 4 or 5 hours ago now. So it was live about 4 hours ago. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say, right? It was live 4 hours ago, so it's pretty fresh. We just didn't cast it earlier, because why stream through WCSE if we can stream it now? And after this set of replays, we're going to be going into a best-of-7 all-kill between IvD Gaming and Micro Gamers Academy. And that's going to be the final match from IvD Gaming in the group stage and from Micro Gamers Academy in the group stage. An important must-win match for Micro Gamers Academy if they do wish to make the playoffs this season, because they are in contention for it, but they're not quite there just yet. So anyways, we're going to see how this goes. We're going to get into this first game in just a moment. Let me very quickly just tweet here, guys. Now, our starting players are going to be Bones and Solo. And I for some reason, I just didn't I just don't know why, but I just didn't think to tweet before I actually went live, which is a little bit silly. But anyways, let's send that tweet out, and we should be all good to go. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Sorry for being a little bit late to start off with. Got a little bit caught up chatting away, and then another song started, and it was like a whole minute in, and I was like, oh, do I cut the song a minute in, or do I just let it play out? And I was just like, you know what, let's just let it play out. And so we did, and so we come into this game. Right now, of course, I mean, we didn't miss any of the game because it's from replay, so I chose when to start the replay. So yeah, let's get into this. In the upper right hand corner, we are going to be starting with the player from IvD Gaming. It's going to be Bones up here. IvD having such a strong season so far. I think they've dropped, what, like 3 maps in total? Yeah, 3 maps in total. In 7 matches, they've dropped 3 maps. In 7 best-of-7 all-kill matches, they've dropped 3 maps. So they're 28-3 right now. And, I mean, that's a pretty formidable statistic. You know, whichever team, you know, they came into this league definitely as one of the favourites, and a lot would say the favourites, even over Root. And I mean, that stat right there just completely backs it up. And, you know, they've been using Apocalypse a lot early on, they've been using Gamja. Today they're starting with Bones, the Canadian player. So we'll see how well Bones can do here. I think IvD taking a little bit more easily here, as they've already secured a place in the playoffs, and you know, they've got nothing to lose right now. So maybe they'll field a slightly lesser roster than what they usually do, as we do have a Forge Fast Expand coming up here for Bones in the top right hand corner of a Nexus first. In the lower left hand corner, the yellow Zerg player from Seed Gaming, it's Solo. And he's actually going to be starting us off in a very interesting way as well here. He's going to go pool first, but then take his hatchery at the gold expansion. Well, I mean, this is already straight away something a little bit weird to do. I mean, you know, as Bones spots this was something we'd see Zerg players do a lot in Habitation Station, which was very easy to defend gold base, relatively, you know, not necessarily in the later parts of the game, but early on it was fairly easy to defend. It was fairly close to your main, there was a ramp, and yeah, you know, but here, this base is completely wide open, there's multiple entrance ways, so it's a lot harder to defend, and we don't actually see this kind of play as often on Overgrowth, so pretty cool to see that here from Solo, and to see something a little bit different. As you know, I do honestly find PvZ a little bit dull sometimes. I mean, it always seems to be the same few different things. At least in the early game, we don't see anything happening. I guess we're not going to see anything happening here, but it opens up a whole bunch of other possibilities from Solo, and these drones just coming over to the gold base right now. As whoa, we got a subscriber! Woohoo! Boss, hitting the subscribe button. Thank you very much, Boss. Means a lot, man. Boss has been supporting us, or supporting me, for a long time. He's always been Fab Guy, always been sending words of encouragement on Skype or in-game, between casts, stuff like that. So very, very much, boss, for your continued support throughout. Solo has started up a third base as we head back into the game, guys. He's got a third base here very quickly, as you do again, as usual against a Forge Fast Expand. Honestly, so yeah, nothing too crazy as Bones just checking around, seeing what's up in his base, making sure there's nothing suspicious going on in here. I don't know what exactly could be, in the corner of his base right now. It's too early for Nidus Worm or anything like that, so a little bit weird. But he's actually going to start up 4 more gateways here, 5 more gateways. Okay, wow, Bones is going to get aggressive. He's actually only on a single gas, so this is a pretty telltale sign that something like this is going to happen. With only 1 gas, I mean, it totally opens it up. He totally opens himself up to the ability to go for something like a 7 gate with pretty much pure Zealot. And I can't help but feel that the decision for Solo to open with the gold base will have an effect on, how Bones is responding to this, on Bones' decision to actually go for this. The Forge not actually going to end up being used at all, no upgrades coming out of there. I think he's just going to try and hit this base as fast as he can. And, early aggression is very good against this because, as I was saying, it's a bit further away from the main base as compared to Habitation Station. If you want reinforcements in, I mean, considering that roaches and lings are not going to have speed, they're going to be very slow at this stage of the game. These have to come a long way. It's kind of like a whole screen away, like it is, like a whole screen, a diagonal screen length between that gold base and the natural expansion creep base. So, and he can't go directly there either. He can't go straight through the middle. He has to go kind of round the side. So reinforcements will come here very, very slowly from Bones. He's already got a single pound setup. I don't really agree with going for the natural, actually, because why go for the natural, which has 2 hatcheries of production coming right out into it very quickly, when you could hit the gold base, kill that off very quickly, and completely kind of negate 2 hatcheries worth of production. To me, it doesn't make that much sense, but Bones, he's going to go for this right now. He's filling a lot of minerals. Really needs to get the Chrono Boost working on them gateways. He has the first few roaches on the way out for Solo, so he's had a pretty good idea. He's been not too greedy and got this roach run down in plenty of time, as the Zealot's actually trapped a little bit behind these Stalkers right now, which does cause a little bit of an issue. A few more roaches coming in from behind, and Solo looks as though he's going to turn this around for the first wave. At least 18 more lings on the way, a few more roaches as well. Solo's only really just started to mine gas here. He's not got Zergling speed even on the way. He hasn't got enough gas to even start it just yet, and that will make his Zerglings a little bit less effective here in this battle as he comes in once again, and he looks to take this away. Sorry, I mean, he obviously made some roaches with the gas, but he hasn't been teching with it at all. He's basically saying, I just need as many units as I can get right now. Even if the lings are slow, they're going to be better than it's better. It's going to take so long for that upgrade to finish. He can't really afford to invest in it right now when he's, when Bones is right on top of him. Bones is really floating a lot of money though, 1.2k minerals still. And, 1,000 minerals, if this was 1,000 minerals, 10 more Zealots or something right now, I mean, just look at it. I mean, it could be, this attack could be continuing here. So, I mean, even if he started a second gas maybe and just started mining some gas so he could get more Stalkers, just so he didn't have as many minerals, that could even help him out as well, as the work counts are very even right now. Solo going to start up another spine crawler here, still reinforcement from that gold base as well, a few lings and roaches coming in from over here, and one Stalker looking as though it might be about to go down. Roaches still fighting against Zealots, and it looks as though the front line here is actually broken a little bit for Bones. He still has his units in the back battling away at the reinforcements, but he's starting to lose steam a little bit as I mean, honestly, a lot of these his army isn't that big, and Solo's army actually does just seem to be getting bigger and bigger, especially considering he's getting spine crawlers up. He hasn't lost his natural expansion, which is great as well. He's taken no hits to his production, and now Bones comes in and fights over here, and I think this is what you should have done right at the start of this. I mean, I feel like this is the more vulnerable base, the base you should go for. If you stop the mining here, you stop gold income, whereas over here you're only stopping him mining off of a kind of a normal base. So I feel like that's a bit of a mistake out of Bones. There's roaches coming in from the left, from the top, and looking to just do what they can on this army. A few more roaches still coming in here. Zealots actually falling very, very quickly. A queen thrown down, transfused, some more Zealots being warped in. The Stalkers are going to be very vulnerable here in a second or two. Once these Zealots die, there's going to be nothing in front for them to tank for them. As the last couple of Zealots go down, Stalker starts to get warped in. It looks as though Solo doesn't want to commit further forward just yet. Now he starts up his metabolic boost. And he's got more lings and more roaches on the way as well, as 4 more zealots do get warped in, and a couple of lings coming forward. They're getting, well, they're a little bit dead, to say the least. Over here, it looks as though Solo's just kind of waiting with this army, just waiting until you know, Bones commits forward before bringing it over, so it just doesn't get picked off. And I mean, Solo's always just training so well. I wonder what the resources lost looks like. It's actually in favour of the Protoss player. So it's actually going quite well, but I mean, again, it's this gold base which is making the difference, because Bones is just simply, Solo is simply just mining more than Bones, or about the same amount. You can see it here, it's about 100 minerals more per minute, or thereabouts. It's a little bit more at all times, and that's what's allowing him to be a little bit less cost efficient. So imagine Bones had shut down that gold base right at the start, as, I mean, he's still in this here, he's still fighting, but the army of Solo gets bigger and bigger, and, you know, the bigger it gets, the more troublesome this gets for Bones, I feel. A couple of queens are going to fall here, weren't really in the best of positions, not sure why they were kind of transferring over here. Or, you know, I guess they were trying to come help out the fight, but they just got caught transferring at the wrong moment. Bones is actually going to back off now. He's going to go all the way back home. All the way back home. And he even started up a couple of cannons as he's taking his gas, and he's going to have to start mining from that right now. I mean, this is the point of the game here for Bones, where he just needs to kind of find a way to tech out of this, because he hasn't had any tech. And I mean, Solo's got a lot of tech now. He's got Zerglin speed, he's got Lair finishing, he's got a lot of possibilities here, not to mention he's got kind of an overwhelming army right now as well. He will have to drone up a little bit, because Bones has reproduced some probes in the last few moments, so he's taken a worker lead. So Solo can't just make units and try and kill him, I don't think. I think that may be the worst thing to do. I think the best thing for him to do would be to just continue teching over himself and making sure he's not going to fight into any kind of stupid position or anything like that. And I mean, the robot facility comes down for Bones. He finally starts +1 as well. I mean, the robot facility probably just going to be for Immortals. When you've seen so many roaches out of your opponent, I mean, Immortals are always going to be pretty much the best bet. But again, is it just going to be too little too late? I mean, a few Immortals and combined with Sentries are fantastic. But Bones just, I mean, he still has 1,000 minerals. He's just been struggling to spend this all game long. As there you see, first Immortal on the way out. He adds a couple more gateways, just try and get rid of some of this money. As Solo just sits in the middle of the map, his creep is now finally beginning to spread as well, now that he hasn't got units on his doorstep, which will just clean it up in a matter of seconds. Probe coming down the bottom side of this map is ready to actually head over towards that third base, or the natural third location, as roaches are going to start playing a dance on the wall of the Protoss player. He's just going to take down the +1, that's never going to finish here in this game, and Solo very smart about this, just moving back once he gets that pick off. As, oops, excuse me. As this probe does go over here, puts down the pylon, so looking for a way to get some more harassment in. I don't think them overlords will have seen that probe, so Solo not really suspecting this just yet as he goes into Hydralisks, he's going into an infestation pit. You know, he's literally just making sure he can completely iron out his victory in this game. As Sec Forge is being rebuilt for Bones as well. He's about to get a second Immortal out, so he's finally getting to the point where he can kind of fight the roach numbers. And as soon as he's got to the point where he can kind of fight the roach numbers, Solo's got Hydralisks in his army, and you know, he's got an infestation pit about to finish. His army just gets better and better, so Bones just kind of, you know, this is the problem with the build. That's why it's an all-in, because afterwards it takes you so long to get your tech up that unless you do some serious damage, the Zerg is going to surpass you in that tech and really just, you know, go kind of crazy and go crazy on it. As Stalkers passing through this little gap in the wall, and another Immortal here. A War Prism on the way out as well. I guess Bones is just going to try and move across the map and finish this with kind of a 2-base all-in with an Immortal Sentry. I guess he doesn't really have any other choice. I mean, there's an Overlord actually creeping up his third base. I mean, even if he took his third base now, it's going to be so late. Even if that Overlord wasn't there and he put it down right now, it's going to be so late. That being said, he's kind of bringing the probe over here. Is he going to try and take this third location? I mean, he hasn't actually seen that this base is creeped up, so I guess he's not. I guess he is just going to use this probe for pylons. As it's just a bit of a weird place to put your first pylon, I feel. I guess it's kind of safe and it's out on the map a bit. A few lings coming forward here. They're going to get picked off pretty quickly as Bones comes forward, and he's going to look to try and end this game. He's going to try and put Solo out of this. I mean, he's going to come towards this gold base. Solo probably doesn't care too much about this anymore. The minerals are mined out. He's only got gases remaining here. And a few more Stalkers warping in. As Bones is going to look to try and come in, pick this off, take a fight. But he's going to have to come up a ramp into this Roach Hydralisk army. First force field does come down here. Doesn't achieve all too much, just warns the Zerg player, you know, I do have force fields, you can't just come down this ramp into me. You know, he's saying you're going to have to wait until I decide where we fight. As more and more Hydralisks coming out here for Solo. He's always maxed out, which is kind of absolutely crazy, really. I mean, 200 supply Zerg on 49 drones is insane. He's actually going to be 50 army supply ahead of his opponent. And he adds on a few more drones just now. This natural third now has just finished with guesses his fourth in this game. And I mean, this is on the way. The Queen's on the way out there, so he's going to get that set up as a mining base. For sentries to come down, I mean, the force field's not doing what they need to do. These force fields, they need to be splitting this army in half. He needs to be picking off half of this army at a time, not buying time for himself to run away and try and, you know, come again another day. I mean, Robobay is on the way, but how long is it going to be until we see Colossus out? And you actually see that Council, Twilight Council on the way down. The Protoss player's on one base economy right now. There's literally no way for him to kind of survive much longer on this one base. He has this one army and that's absolutely it. I guess he's just going to try and make it as strong as possible. He is going to try and take this third base now, but I mean, is it really going to be worthwhile? I don't know, a few more probes heading across here to start actually long distance mining. I mean, why not? Because they're not doing nothing being on this base. And this base barely has like 1,500 minerals left in it overall. Templar Archives on the way down. I guess Storms would be kind of nice. I mean, maybe he's just feeling like he needs feedbacks to be able to deal with these Vipers. I apologise because we actually saw this Warp Prism come out on the map a long time ago. Yet it looks as though he did pick off some workers with that. So apologies for that. I did actually let that slip my mind, and we're actually going to see the Warp Prism come back into this third base now. As he's going to try and drop down here. This Queen's going to go down, and this base is under a little bit of trouble, and will begin to take some damage at the same time. I mean, Solo's just going to move, and he's just going to force a cancel on this third base, the Protoss player, and I mean, that doesn't even last 2 seconds, as a few Templar warping in. Is it going to be enough though? This Roach Hydra army is absolutely huge. The few force fields coming down to ward it off for now, as Zealots come into the natural as well. This base will fall for Solo, so he loses a hatchery here, and force fields still here, just trying to buy more time for the Protoss player. But how much more time can he hope to buy? I mean, truly, you know, there's only so long which he can really last in this game. As the Roach Hydra finally starts to hit this wall, it's going to take down the forge. It's going to be able to take down these buildings at the front, and I mean, it's just not going to be long enough. He's trying to get Storm out, but it's just, he just doesn't have the time. He doesn't have enough force fields to buy enough time. Nice feedback on one of the Vipers at least. I mean, Flying Cloud does a lot of work here though, stopping any units really coming forward. And Hydra's actually just going to, a few of them slip through. They could go into the main base if they wanted to, as it looks as though Solo is just in a position you can't lose from here. I mean, these Zealots have actually done a fab job over here. Solo's actually down on 15 drones. This didn't really need to happen, but it's not going to matter because it's just going to have enough of an army. If somehow Bones was able to kill off this army now, he might be in with a shot because he's completely killed the economy of Solo, and you know, that's a big factor. But at the same time now, Bones has lost all of his probes here. He's about to lose the Nexus. He's still trying to keep these Templar alive. Storm has finished, and here we go. The Storms are going to start coming down. Is it going to be enough? Well, our answer is no. And with that, we'll see a GG out of our Protoss player. And Seed Gaming take the 4th map off of IvD Gaming in the entire season of SC2 Improved Team League. That's the 4th map IvD Gaming have lost here in this season. Absolutely crazy. Like truly crazy. Like, can't even express how ridiculous that is. Now that, like, 8th match and they have finally lost their 4th map. Like, if all their map losses were in one match, they would have finally lost a match. Absolutely ridiculous. Solo doing a great job here to take game number 1 off of IvD Game and taking down Bones. We'll be taking a quick commercial break here, guys. When we come back, we'll be going into game number 2 between Intense and Solo. I'm going to go update the subscriber goal thing and add the boss's name to that. And yeah, we're going to be back in a couple of moments. If you're enjoying the show, guys, make sure to hit that follow button. And we're just getting started here tonight as we have a load of StarCraft on your way. After this best of 7, we'll be going into IvD Gaming versus Micro Gamers Academy. So a ton of SC2 Improved Team League America tonight. And we'll be back to Improve Team League America. How are you all doing? I'm Wardy, and yeah, this is SC2 Improved Team League America. Having a bunch of fun in the chat here today. Thank you everyone who is in the chat and checking us out and you know, joining in as well. I mean, you know, there's a different, you know, we of course appreciate you guys who just come and watch, but you know, when you come in and join in the chat as well, it's always a bunch of fun. It really makes casting, you know, that much better because you get to see who you guys are supporting, see what you guys are up to and stuff like that. So we're going to get into our next game. It's going to be Catalina for TVZ. We're getting into this game. We're just a couple of minutes in. You know, why watch the boring starting bits when you can get straight into it instead. So let's go into this, guys, as IvD Gaming send out Intense, the red Terran player, to the upper right hand corner to start in map number 2. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't really know that much about Intense at all. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when you say IvD gaming to me, I say Apocalypse and Gamja. I know Tempo's on there, and Fog's on there as well. And then I'm like, oh wait, they haven't had to use anyone else in this league because Apocalypse just keeps all killing. So I kind of get a little bit stuck. Now I know Bones. He was playing for Seed. Of course, he's actually managing for Seed for the first part of this season. But past, you know, there. I'm a little bit stuck on the IvD players, actually. I know a little bit about Zan. He's a Terran player. I know they picked him up recently. But Intense, someone I definitely haven't heard too much about. So here's the red Terran player in the upper right hand corner. And if anyone doesn't know a little bit about Intense, any interesting facts, do let us know. And I'll maybe read them out if they're not rude or anything. And in the bottom right hand corner, we actually have Solo from Seed Gaming, the Norwegian player who is looking to take his team into a 2-0 advantage. I believe if he was able to take another map off of IvD here, he would be the first player. He would be the first player to take 2 maps off of IvD this season. He would be Seed would be the first team to have taken 2 maps off IvD at all. If anyone takes a map of them again in this series, so yeah, I think IvD definitely going not as strong as they have been going in previously. As this Reaper jumps in, gets turned around quite quickly, isn't able to quite. Jump and not quite able to finish off that drone there. So yeah, you know, Seed, I mean, already, I think this is probably the first time actually IvD Gaming have trailed in the SC2 Improved Team League America. I don't think they've ever been down. I think they've always been leading or tying with their opponents. I mean, already Seed here breaking some records, and again, I mean, what I was trying to say before was, IvD not necessarily putting out their best lineup tonight. They don't need to. They're 100% guaranteed to get into the top, the first division. They're guaranteed first place as well, I do believe. So you know, there's not really that much for them to have to really play for here. They can be a little bit, you know, they can give their other players a little chance to play, and of course the other players are great to watch as well. But you know, they're not. You know, when you compare them to Apocalypse and Gamja, it's no surprise that you think of them on a maybe a slightly different level, as Intense is really doing a good job of actually denying the third base out of Solo for a little while. Solo going into a Rotron here. He's on 3 gases, and yeah, intrigued to see where this goes for him. We're going to see a, you know, the flash build out of Intense as Starport starts to make a medevac. Some more Hellions continue to come out here, and yeah, I mean, of course, the main goal of this is to drop the Marines in the main base and then try and run the Hellions by into the natural at the same time. Solo doesn't actually make a third base. He cancels this here, and I kind of wonder why that is, because honestly, he's not scouted anything. It may just be that he was trying to fake it all this time. The Hellions come in here and they're going to go around to that third, see it's not there, and immediately Intense is going to be a little bit like, huh, what is this? And this is why I was kind of like, well, what's Solo doing? Where's this going to go? And it is going to turn into some kind of all-in here. A lot of roaches on the way out. Zergling Speed on the way as well. A Viking coming out next from Intense, and of course this Viking will allow him to start cleaning up some overlords, and this will help him get drops around the map later in the game. Medevac on the way into the middle to the main base right now. There's a Bane nest as well for Solo, as Intense is trying to poke the front with these Hellions. Here's the drop in the main base though, and I mean, there's a good and a bad way back to look at this, as you know, you could see that Solo was pretty much ready for these Hellions to run, and he knew these were coming, so immediately he cleans up the Hellions, no problem at all. he's going to be able to clean up these Marines as well. Intense has bought a lot of time for himself. In terms of the defense, he's brought all of Solo's units back. Now Solo sends some units across the map. So he is going to continue going for this all-in as the Queens are starting to hunt down this medevac. It's starting to get a little bit low on health. Going to have to be very careful with it here. Starting to drop. Yeah, another Marine or two. Back at home, he is starting up some bunkers, so he is getting prepared, but the question is, does he have enough units out? Well, he started a tech lab on his factory, so he's actually going to have a siege tank on the way, so he should be able to hold the high ground, if nothing else here, as the Balins continue to come in, and, I mean, these Roaches should be able to take down this first bunker without too much of an issue, so that's going to mean there's not actually so much for the Balins to bust through here. How much damage can Solo do, as the Balins are going to get loads of SCV kills? Bunker goes down as well. And Solo is doing a lot of damage here as Balins continue to come up this ramp. The reactor is going to go down as another, well, the supply depot goes down as well. And Intense just GG's right there. And Solo takes game number 2 in a very quick 9 minutes and 30 seconds on the dot. And puts Seed Gaming 2-0 up. Well, I spent about half of that game explaining to you guys that if Seed were able to take 2 maps here, they'd be the first people to do that against IvD in the entirety of the tournament so far. And what does Solo do? He does it in less than 10 minutes in game. So, just like that, Solo is going to force IvD to send out a 3rd player. Again, something they've never had to do in this season of SC2 Improve Team League America. So our Seed going to be the downfall of IvD here today. A great start for them as Solo gets them up to 2-0. And, I mean, he's still out there as his next opponent will actually be Zan. I was just mentioning Zan before. I mentioned him as a Terran player who I've heard a little bit about. So intrigued to see what's going to happen. And we'll see what's still happen on King Sejong Station for this 3rd map after this quick commercial break, guys. If you're enjoying the show, you can hit the follow button on the Twitch TV channel. And has anyone been hitting the follow button just yet? Let's have a look on the emails. You know what, let's do Twitch shoutouts after the break if we've got any Twitch shoutouts to make. Enjoy the music, guys. We'll be back here in a few moments. Just a quick commercial break, and game number 3 between Solo and Zan will be on the way. I'll pick a bit of a shorter song this time, so we're not as welcome back, guys, as we're going to go into game number 3 here between Seed Gaming and IvD Gaming from SC2 Improve Team League America. How are you all doing? I'm Wardy, and I'm bringing you the action here today as we head into this 3rd game of this best of 7 all kills. Seed Gaming 2-0 up, something which has never happened to IvD this season. So let's see how they're going to respond as they send out Zan on King Sejong Station to try and take game number 3. And let's just go ahead and introduce our players. In the upper left hand corner, it's the yellow Zerg player from Seed Gaming. It's Solo. As I unban Revolution from the chat, because he's stupidly trying to link things again after, you know, just in case Mooba banning you the first time wasn't enough, and now he's trying to pretend that he was now he's pretending he's trying to paste something else and he got mixed up. Shut up, Revolution. We know you're wrong. Go on, get out of here. Alright, in the bottom right hand corner from IvD Gaming, we have Zan, the red Terran player from, well, I mean, I've just said it, IvD Gaming. So a 2nd TVZ in a row here. Last time Solo went straight up aggressive as he went for the Roach Bane Ling all in. Was definitely faking out that 3rd base. I mean, we were talking about how great of a job Intense was doing at denying that 3rd, when realistically, at the end of the day, Solo wasn't even interested in the 3rd base. He wanted to just go straight into the Roach Bling Ling, and it turned out to maybe just trick Intense a little bit more than, a little bit more than it should have. And then he kind of ran his, you know, there's a thing with that build, you know, you run your Hellions into the natural to try and do damage. There's no point in just throwing away all your Hellions though, you know, them Hellions are much better to you alive than dead if you're not going to do anything with them. So it's a little bit of a shame to actually see him kind of just run them all in there and end up being like, yo. You know, and of course, once he started losing a few of his Marines from that drop as well, there was nothing at home for him to defend. A tank was on the way out, but there's just too many Banelings. The Roaches took down the first bunker before the Banelings were even, so the Banelings didn't even have to bust the initial wall. There's just too many Banelings to kind of take everything down too quickly, and, well, Anyways, let's get into this game. We do have, once again, just a Reaper expand coming out of our Terran player, and Zan going to get this first Reaper heading across the map in just a couple of moments here. So yeah, Zan heading across the map. Let's see what you can get done in this game against La Solo. And the Solo, who is having himself raised right now by people in the chat. A couple of Lings going to try and chase this Reaper away. You know, it's kind of crazy. Today the chat's going, despite, you know, the chat is going so fast today that I can't actually keep up with it. It's kind of joining the conversation. It's yeah, it's a little bit crazy as Reaper's going to try and get a drone kill here. Sport Crawler is made, keeps that alive. Reaper will have to just turn away to try and get out of it. So Reaper gets away, stays alive. And another Reaper sitting at the front here. So heading around to the right hand side of his main base with this Overlord, and Zan just trying to sneak in with this Reaper. He wants to get a little bit of scouting. He's not actually been into the main base at all quite yet, so if you could spot that this was a gasless opening from his opponent, that's kind of nice, because it gives him a little bit more information about how aggressive he can be, you know, how long he can stay out on the map for with this Reaper. It might give him a little bit more of an idea about how aggressive he'll want to be with this kind of Marine, Hellion, Medevac play, as it's the exact same as before. What we're going to be seeing out of our opponent here, out of our Terran player here, it's the exact same as what Intense went for. A very popular build right now. I'm actually kind of confused because there should be more Marines out. Oh wow, oh no, sorry. He actually went for a second Reaper, so this is a little bit different. I thought that was a Marine in the bunker, but it's actually a Reaper. So this is a little bit different actually. I guess this could just be a Viking opening, and it is just going to be a Viking opening, so it's going to be a different build from Zan 9 Intense. So I mean, with two Reapers, you don't go for this because you don't have enough Marines to put in the medevac. Now, as Solo comes in here, the real telling point for him will be that he's actually seen a reactor building on the barracks, and a reactor on the barracks and a second gas means an armory is going to come down, and it's going to be a Hellbat build here. The Viking's going to be nice to pick off overlords out on the map. It's going to be actually the switch. The medevac's the starport's going to come onto this reactor, isn't it? It's going to be kind of a double medevac Hellbat build. At least it would seem that way to me, because I don't think he's going to start making Marines, and yeah, you're switching over. So here we go, Zan going to really change things up here, bringing out the bats, as he's actually going to try and poke through up into the natural at least a little bit right now. And you know, the good thing for Solo is he's had a really good scout about with all of this. You know, he's seen pretty much everything that's coming. He's seen the second gas. He can pretty much assume what it's going to be. He saw the reactor building on the barracks, so he has a really good read of what's coming towards him. And in fact, we already see him with some roaches on the way out. He's already heading into a lair as well. Few roaches just sitting around right now. We're actually going to see missile attacks researched here from Solo, as Viking comes around the right hand side of the map right now. And yeah, Viking coming around the right hand side looking for some overlords. It's not actually had it's actually had one kill so far. Was that the initial overlord, or was that Marines that took that down? It might have been the Viking. I can't actually remember. Have we only seen one overlord killed? That's like question. No, we've seen two. So Vikings found a single overlord so far out on the map, and it will continue to look for more. Unfortunately, I mean, most of them are actually over here. These two, there's actually nothing on the right hand side, as the bats do come in and they do drop right on top of this mineral line. Oh, Solo taking a fair amount of damage here initially actually. Two Hellbats are going to get left behind. One medevac gets away at the same time. Into the third base goes Zan, looking to do a little bit more damage here, and worker count's looking fairly even right now. Considering back at home he's got a couple of mules available to him, it's kind of okay, but at the same time there's only just on his third CC now, so he's committed quite a lot. You know, he's really delayed the third command center to be able to get this out. you know, to be able to pull off this build. And has he done the damage to make that worthwhile? Honestly, I don't really think so. He is kind of going to bunker up on 2 bases right now, and you know, that's definitely a good call, because he needs to be bunkered up, because there's going to be a lot of roaches coming his way very soon. 1-1's about to finish in Gladway Constitution, and I would be very surprised if Solo did not attack with this kind of timing of all his roach upgrades finishing. Now, these Hellbats getting in once again, going up to 14 workers killed, so getting to the point where you can probably kind of see as he comes into the 3rd base again, getting to the point 21, 22 I guess killed. We've actually got a drop in the natural as well, so actually this is definitely at the point now where he's done enough damage. You know, he can justify having delayed this 3rd base. And oh, another shot going off here. What's the final damage done? 28 workers, and Zan actually takes a 13 worker lead. He's actually not done just yet. He comes in again, and ooh, that was one more drone, I think. Yeah, and 32 in total. Wow, so he got 4 more at that 3rd base there. He actually takes an 18 worker lead with this, and that's pretty huge. Solo can remake them very quickly. But considering, you know, I was pretty sure he was going to start building up towards going for a big roach attack. And I mean, he is. He's moved across the map. He'd rather be building more roaches to reinforce this right now than having to drone. Or he'd rather be droning behind this and then making roaches for the rest of this game uninterrupted. Whereas right now, he's just having to drone up, and he's going to have to keep on droning. You know, it's kind of painful for him. He's going to try and come up here, but 3 Marauders just doing work on these roaches from the bunkers, and it's going to take a little while for these roaches to take these down. I mean, they do take down another bunker here. More units stimming forward as SCV is pulled. One small bunker is remaining here, and Solo looks as though he's doing an okay job so far. He's actually about 30-40 supply up. Now, of course, a lot of this is just in pure roach, and roaches aren't the best of units, especially as the game goes on. And I mean, as this game goes on, 1-1 combat shields plus 1 vehicle weapon is on the way, a tank on the way out as well. So in the moment, Zan will be able to get that tank down and firing on these roaches from the high ground, and that will help out quite a lot. As another Marauder going to come in, 1 Marauder getting stuck here, trying to get into the bunker. A couple of Marauders on the ramp will help out a lot, and I think this will be the final kind of push here from Solo as roaches. I think they're going to end up going down now. This bunker getting repaired. There's not that much DPS left in these, and tank on the way now. More roaches coming across as reinforcements. This tank may go down, and I think the medevac's going to have to pick this up. He just picks it up, 1 hit away from death. Solo's actually continuing to do a lot of damage here, and he might be able to take this down. He's actually still fighting against the bunker. If he was trading against SCVs, it may be the better option right sorry, there may be a better option right now, as roaches do continue to fall. And I mean, he's done some serious damage in return to what Zan has done against him earlier in this, but he's running out of steam right now. And again, you know, if his last kind of 20 drones or so took him up to 70 drones, he'd be in a great position. But all of that damage Zan did in the early game has cost him quite a lot. You can see now 20 to 32 workers killed. So Solo returns the favour. He hits Zan with a 1-2. Zan with a 3rd command center, though, he can remake them SCVs very quickly. He can drop a lot of mules very quickly as well. He's going to be okay here. He's going to be able to recover and set up to go into the mid game most likely. He's going to land that 3rd. I mean, right now it's still just pure roach from Solo. He hasn't had the money to be able to transition out of this. And of course we see the tank count starting to rise here. Zan starts up his 2nd tank. And as the tank count rises, of course, where you know, as the tank count rises, it means that the roaches become less and less efficient and less effective against this Terran army. The more tanks there are, the less these roaches can really do out on the map, unless they catch the Terran player on siege. And I mean, 2-2's on the way now. The Terran player is going to start building up medevacs as well. The higher the medevac count is, also the less effective these roaches are going to be. And yeah, I'm kind of actually a little bit worried for Solo. I mean, he maintains a good worker lead right now. He maintains a decent supply lead as well. His upgrades are on par with the Terran player. He is starting to tech now, but I just feel as though Zan, I never really like Roach. I don't really think in the long run Roach Hydra is that great of a composition. Zan going to drop off here, going to try and pick off an overlord. Not many Marines, but it is enough to take it down before units get over here, as Solo has already taken down these rocks at his natural. Coming in and picking up a fair few units actually, and Zan using a little bit of the power in his drop, as the 3rd base is going to land for Zan over here, over back at home for him. So Zan going to start dropping in the main base now as well, but Roach is already here, and Solo doing a good job of deflecting Zan. And you know, generally the problem Roach Hydra players have is defending the drops. Of course, the longer Zan continues to drop for, the more so, the less, you know, the longer he keeps Solo in his bases, so the longer his own army gets stronger and stronger at home, the higher the tank count becomes, the more upgrades come into play. So it's kind of still nice for Zan, even if he's not doing anything directly with these drops, he is keeping these units back at home. He's making Solo commit a lot to being able to defend this. So So yeah, a couple of medevacs just kind of flying around the map right now. Solo's established a fourth base to the right hand side here. You know, it's pretty well timed considering that third base has only really just started mining from Zan. Seeing 72 drones against about 60 SCVs. And yeah, Solo just coming through the middle a little bit with these roaches. Hydra's starting to be added on as well now as muscular augment starts to come in an upgrade tab. All of the upgrades starting to come in. I mean, 2-2 is about to finish. We already see Groove Spines down. We see a Hive on the way as well. I mean, obviously this is going to be for Roach, Hydra, Viper. The Vipers can add so much you know, they can make such a difference in Roach Hydra fights. If you can throw down some good blinding clouds, you can make the difference between cleaning out a Terran army and not. Alternatively, they can just be used for abducts, pulling the tanks into the fight, picking them off before they can do too much damage. So a lot of uses for the Vipers as they will be coming out here very soon. The Hive about 60% of the way done. This Roach Hydra army moves down the right hand side of the map. He may try and come into the natural here of the Terran player. Zan is very kind of out of position to deal with this. He's focusing all of his defense on his third base right now. He doesn't have anything in position to defend his natural, and this could be some pretty serious damage done by Solo. There's no tanks in production, so these Roaches and Hydras are going to come straight in here, and Solo's going to get into a fantastic position. Hydras are going to start taking down this orbital command. And well, the Marauders are going to stem. Some tanks have now siege, so Solo's maybe walked a little bit too far forward into this. But I mean, the damage he's been doing so far is good. He picks up the supply depot here, but takes a lot of damage for it. He's going to turn around and try and fight this army, but I mean, every time he comes into this kind of line of fire of the tanks, he takes more damage than he needs to take. He will fall back. 14 Roaches, 3 Vipers on the way, and it will be them Vipers he needs. I mean, there's not that many tanks. I mean, if he puts down one blinding cloud on each of these tanks, he's going to be very easily able to take a fight against this army. You know, if he can take all of the tanks out of play, that would be huge here. This 3-3 is actually going to be starting for both players as well, so upgrades continuing, and Viper's starting to consume on the hatchery, starting to gain that energy, getting ready to move across the map with the Roach Hydra force and try and take some kind of a fight here. Workers haven't come back to this base just yet. The Solo now almost even on the workers killed throughout the entirety of this game. Solo drops a few creep tumors to the right hand side, starting to spread his creep down pretty much every alleyway possible. There's a Spires on the way up for him as well, so maybe looking for some kind of transition into Broodlords here as the game goes on. Burrow on the way as well, as Solo for the first time now moving out with the full Roach Hydra Viper force. I mean, our Terran player doesn't really know about this. He's kind of scanning, he's trying to see where this is. I don't know, okay, he scanned that fourth base. He sees now as the units come into sensor tower range where this army is, and he's actually got everything at the natural. It is on siege, so he's going to be able to move into position very quickly. Single tank and a wall deters Solo for a little while here. Oh, a tank going to get caught in the front, and a blinding cloud comes down to keep forcing this army back. Sensor tower will fall as well here. Viper's not in range to put down more blind clouds. Blind clouds on those tanks right now would be great, and there they are. The Viper's doing a good job here, and the Hydras are going to do a lot of damage, but the Roaches dying. Without the Roaches, these Hydras don't have much to defend themselves with, and they will begin to melt, and now Bio actually chasing this down, and that was a great fight there for Zan. He took down the majority of that army. None of the Vipers survived at all, and without any Vipers left in the air, he's going to have to remake them, and that's going to be Solo's gas bank gone, and that's going to be as many Hydralisks in this remax, and you know, it's just kind of annoying to have to you know, it's kind of like any tech unit. If you're playing with infestors, you don't want to lose your infestors, you don't want to remake them. If you lose your muters, that's the kind of thing you don't want to happen. Losing the Vipers is exactly the same, and that's a pretty big loss here as Zan actually moves out, and looks as though he may be thinking about taking this base as his fourth, although his fourth command center is all the way over here. Looks as though he actually just wants to move out on this side of the map and push towards the fourth base of Solo. Using the route which is going to give him the least resistance, and of course there's no creep up this side, so I mean Solo is completely blind to this right now. The scans continue to come down, and tanks are going to just siege on this high ground here. This is really cute. Going to be able to lay siege to this hatchery on the mineral line, but of course Vipers will be able to abduct them tanks forward, so Zan needs to be very careful here that he doesn't lose too many of his tanks for free to the Viper abducts, as he does scan, taking out a little bit of creep, and a couple of drones going to go down as well. As Solo is actually just going to back off. It doesn't seem as though he wants to try and take this fight right here. I'd say a smart choice, because with these tanks on the high ground, there's no way for him to really access these. He tries to come forward a little bit, but I think Solo's realizing that it's just not going to happen. He has got a base established over to this left hand side as Hatchery does fall down. And, well, Solo looking as though he may try and take a fight here from behind. But it's still going to be fairly difficult. The Grey Spy is on the way for him now. He's going to come in. The Blinding Cloud is okayish, but it only hits one of those tanks. The Bio isn't in it anymore. These tanks in the top aren't really part of the fight until just now, as Solo is going to come up here and start trying to take these down. Hydra's doing a good job on the ground as the tanks are still out of action thanks to the Blinding Clouds. And it looks as though it's actually going to be an incredibly fair trade, but a few tanks remain. And a few tanks too many, as Solo's just going to have to back off. Some reinforcements coming in for Zan as well. Solo maintains a supply lead right now. 19 Hydras, 19 Roaches and 10 more Hydras were in the production tab just then. His Greater Spy is still on the way, but I don't think he's really going to get an opportunity to use that anytime soon, as these units come back. A Queen transfuses one of them, and Solo heads out once again. A few units being left behind here, as Zan does kind of come all together once more, and is Solo going to jump on him just before he's able to siege up? Well, one tank goes down very quickly here. The rest of the tanks are now sieged and starting to do a fair amount of damage, and well, the Bio comes in from behind, and the Bio from behind may be just about what does it. A few Hydras coming in as well, but again, they have very little army. They're not going to be able to survive on their own for too long. These Marauders doing a great job against them and picking off these Hydras as if they're nothing here. Concussive Shells slowing them down as well. Nice little play, making sure he gets as many as possible. Stimming forward here, and Solo trying to hold on. He needs his reinforcements all at the same time here instead of just a couple at a time, and he think he got a little bit overeager there. He took down the majority of the tanks, yes, which is nice, but he's taken a lot of damage for this. He's lost a lot of his Hydralisks, which he just remade, and now he's losing a lot of his creep spread as well. And the more creep spread he loses, the the worse of his scenario he's in as the game goes on. The less map control he has. Some more Hydras getting caught a little bit out of position over to the left hand side here. And another 2 picked off, and I mean, at this point in the game, every unit really is counting, because these guys are trading so kind of, they're always kind of just trading with each other. The Zero player being so inefficient compared to the Terran, and that's actually kind of amazing. 7,000 resources different in that unit plus tab, so units coming forward here once again. A couple, this time he's actually going to abduct to a single tank, and maybe some blind clouds on this Bio to help it out, but I don't know if it's actually going to be enough, because another tank's coming forward here, and this army of the Zerg players just seems to be falling as the Terran player, he is losing his units, but with reinforcements so nearby, he should be able to clean up the rest of this pretty quickly, and reinforcements from Solo are going to have to come from the other angle, which is actually covered by a couple of tanks, so it looks as though Solo, he will lose the rest of these Hydras once again, and the supply's closer than they've been for a long time now, as there's only kind of 13 supply in this. Vipers have fallen once again here, and Solo having to rebuild these, but he doesn't have the minerals, he doesn't have the gas, he doesn't really have anything, as he's just going to have to fall back with this Roach Hydra, and I don't know. I mean, this is where it's going to get tough, because Zan has this 4th base well protected here. Planetary Fort is a couple of tanks in position, rallying his units to this location as well. I mean, he's on this 4 bases nice and securely. Solo's only on 4 bases as well. The worker count's very even. I mean, Solo's just kind of lost, because he's not trading as efficient as the Terran. He needs more economy, and that's just something he doesn't have right now. Zan 10 supply behind the Zerg player. No, and actually catching, it's actually bang on even supplies around 158 to 160. Zan takes the lead, so the supplies are kind of telling you the tale of this game. Roach Hydra would generally kind of be the player you're expecting to see ahead in supply. Some SCVs being pulled with the army, or just repairing. I think he might be pulling some SCVs with the army just to kind of get rid of them. Unless they're just trying to repair the medevacs, then he moved out anyway. Ooh, well, this could be a good fight for Solo, but he's not actually fighting with everything just yet, and that may have been the mistake as well. It could be the mistake that cost him. He had an opportunity there to get a couple of the tanks, and before anything really happened, before they were really sieged up and ready to go, they were right in the front, but he didn't have everything in position in time. Roach Hydra coming forward here again, looking to try and push this back, and he continues to, well, he throws on a blind cloud, so now's the time for him to commit. He can't waste this energy. A single tank in the back now abducted forward as well, but is there just too much here for Zan? I think there is. He's starting to take a supply lead during this fight, and I mean, again, there's just not, there never seems to be that much Zerg around. There's a couple more tanks forward, but so does all of the Hydralisks, and I mean, Zan from this location, he just has to leapfrog forward and keep moving in towards this 4th base. As the 4th base dies, that will be the end of Solo's economy, and that will be the end of him being able to trade against this Terran army. And I mean, yes, Zan just continues to move forward here, stims forward once again, and Hydra's going to fight against this little army of Bio, now being kited backwards into the tank line and taking some extra damage as well. And a few more queens here, trying to transfuse, trying to give anything he's got. This base is getting dangerously loaded. Fallen one transfuse keeps it alive. Another and another and another, but it's not enough. The base falls, and Solo has no economy anymore. He has this army, and pretty much only this army to come in with. The Queen flanking from the side, but surely this Queen can't save the day. And Solo actually just types out the GG. Hero flanking Queen was not enough to save Solo here. And IvD pulled themselves back a map and put themselves to a 1-2 scoreline against Seed Gaming here today in this best of 7 all kill. Wow. Pretty, honestly, pretty, sick stuff if you ask me. Really sick game out of our players there. Solo just kind of didn't get enough of it, like he was behind, and then he got, he did counter damage to Zan, and then he just never really had the power of the Roach Hydra though. Roach Hydra's really, to me, Roach Hydra's really about hitting strongly the first time and using your momentum to keep on going in the game. And I mean, Zan really put him off before he got into his stride, and then he did hit, and he got himself some momentum, he was in a good position. But Zan was able to just defend, and then there was a couple of times where he ran into tanks a bit and started to lose the army a little bit, and then it was a little bit like, ooh, oh dear, oh dear. In the end, Solo having to tap out there. Zan playing a great game, always abusing the, always moving around the map, hitting different locations, denying the bases. Great play out of him as we're going to head into game number 4 after a quick commercial break, guys. I'm going to go get myself a drink. It's going to be Rhaegar up next for Seed Gaming. That's another Zerg player. It will be on Nimbus. So another ZVT for us. And we're going to go into this after this quick commercial break, guys. So don't go too far. We'll be back in a few moments. In the meantime, you can, of course, check out our website, SC2Improve.net, for all of the SC2 Improve Team League information and all the other news and stuff from SC2 Improve. If you're enjoying the show and you want to see when we go live again, the follow button on Twitch is your best friend. And shout out to Omniconda1982 who's hit the follow button in the last 25 minutes or so. So thank you very much for the follow. And guys, we'll be back in a few moments' time with game number 4. It's going to be Zan versus Rhaegar on Nimbus, another ZVT. Welcome back, guys, to SC2 Improve Team League America. I'm Wardy, bringing you all the action here today as we're currently watching Seed Gaming from versus IvD Gaming from about 4 or 5 hours ago. And straight after this best of 7 all kill, we're actually going to be going into a live match between IvD Gaming and Micro Gamers Academy. IvD already secured a place in the playoff seed. Must win today to have a chance at the playoffs, but if they do take a victory today, then it all comes down to how well they can do against it all comes down to how Dust Gaming do against Immortals Esports and Deadly Gaming, which will be happening tomorrow and God knows when else. So Seed have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive, but then it's going to be out of their hands. So let's, without any further ado, get into this series. Why my phone buzzing so much? Shut the fuck up. Okay. So, let's get into this game. Let's get into game number 3-4 here of this best of 7 all kill. In the lower right hand corner of Nimbus, we're going to see Seed Gaming's Rhaegar. And in the upper right hand corner of the Teal Terran player, it's Zan. Opening up with a Reaper play once again here, just waiting for the Reaper to start popping on out. And we'll see what he wants to do with this, see where he's going to go. So, yeah, we saw last game. What did we see last game? We saw, what did we see last game? We saw Zan go for the Hellbat build. Yes, the Hellbat double medevac build. And he did pretty much, he did a ton of damage with it, like a ton of damage. So he did a lot. And Reaper is gonna come out here, and again this is how he opened last time with the second Reaper as well, so possibility to do the same thing here against Rhaegar. And yeah, Zan coming down and just scouting around, seeing what's up. And yeah, we're going to keep an eye and see what exactly he wants to go for here. So we're going to see the reactor come down in a moment. And the Hellions to follow it up very soon. Second gas being taken again, so I mean immediately this is kind of indicating he's going to go for something along the same lines. Definitely going to be seeing a starport. It's not just going to be for him. Oh, what a catch by Rhaegor. What a great little move there. And he actually catches that first Reaper, and that's absolutely huge. And is he going to get the same again? Oh, it was kind of close there for a moment. Yeah, it was kind of close for a moment, but not too long. So yeah, Zan gets out of there pretty safely as the starport comes down here from Zan. And there's a tech lab coming up this time, so he is going to change things up. He's going to go for the Banshee style of play, which of course is the other thing you can do when you open with double gas, as he is doing. You'll go for the Banshee. Could still be Hellbat Banshee, still a possibility. Could just be very simply, you know, Hellion Banshee as well. A couple of Hellions popping out here, and Barrick's going to move over, giving way for this starport to land on that tech lab, as few Lings actually going to get turned away by the Hellions at the front of the Terran base. Going to have to come all the way back home right now. A third hatchery again on the way up here for Rhaegor, and going into his economy pretty quickly here. A couple of Queens moving forward, getting ready to deflect these initial Hellion Reaper. But at the moment, there isn't really too much to actually detect for Rhaegor. I mean, he's got no Spore Crawlers on the way. He doesn't have a Lair on the way, so once the Banshees come in with the cloak, it's going to be very difficult to, you know, not take damage. And, you know, if things get a bit out of hand, we can see a lot of Queens falling down. However, we do see Spore Crawlers starting. Now, we have had an Overlord coming in, and he has been able to spot the cloak coming down on the starport. So, Banshees with cloak spotted, and he's going to start responding with these Spore Crawlers. So, this is nice immediately. I mean, having only the Spore Crawlers is not the best of defenses, because you know, they have to move around to be kind of mobile. They're only static defense, so they're only static detection as well. So the Queens can only be in certain places if they want to pick off the Banshees, which will give the Banshees, especially on this third base, a potential to try and hit from the other side and maybe try and get some damage done. The first Banshee is looking to head towards the natural, however, as this Reaper Hellion is still looking to just hit the front right now. Hellions getting turned away pretty quickly by the Queens, one of them falling as the Banshee comes in here, and we'll start to work away on these drones. The Queen comes forward to start going at this. Not too much damage done so far, as the Banshee does now cloak. He will just start going after this gas actually. Rock's going to start being taken down by these Zerglings. Hellions looking as though they may try and go around the right hand side and come into this base another way. Not too much for them to really pick off though, as this Banshee goes after the Queen, and ooh, it has one shot left on it, and oh god, the Banshee's going to just survive on 5 hit points. And I thought he made a mistake by turning around there. Turns out in the end it's okay. Hellbat's now in here. He has had an army behind this, so it's going to be Hellbat Banshee. And is there going to be enough with just the Ling Queen? I don't know if there will be. The first load of Lings get absolutely annihilated. Already some drones falling. The transfuses are going to be so vital here, as the first Bat and Hellbat is about to fall down. Second Hellbat on the way down as well here. Another transfuse coming in very nicely, but now 3 Hellbats coming in from behind as well. That we're working on the drone line until this point, and Rhaegor looks as though he's in a lot of trouble. Spore Crawler goes down. Ling's retreating here. And Zan working away on this third base. This third base of Rhaegor is going to die, no doubt about it. He was not prepared for the Hellbats at all. He's prepared for the Banshees, not for the Bats, and well, now he's dropping transfuses kind of, you know, everywhere, all over these Queens, as the Lings come in to surround these Hellbats and shut them down. One Banshee remains in the sky. Everything's going to end up dying here, so Zan loses the whole of his early game army to pull off this defense. One more Banshee's going to start going down to these Queens, and in fact, it may just die. He gets one Queen, it's just going to fall though. And Zan getting a little bit too greedy with that there. So he kills off a third base, his own third base, not yet ready to go up. So it's not the worst of situations for Rhaegor. He can come back from this kind of situation. I mean, he's going to be a bit behind on economy, but nothing he can't build back up. So Ling's just sitting outside of this front door here, waiting to see if anything comes out. As Zan building up his barracks right now. Stim on the way, and Rhaegar just going into a pretty standard game himself. Spire and Bibi Ainless on the way down, getting ready to just go into that Mutaling Blink composition. Going to start getting his upgrades here as well. Already +1 melee finish, +2 start, +1 carapace going to finish up here in the next few moments, and yeah, I mean, once this third base comes back up, he'll be in a pretty kind of standard situation. He hasn't fallen too far behind on drones. He's actually long distance mining right now, and he's going to start taking his gas on this third base as well, and he's actually just going to take a fourth base here pretty quickly. It's pretty well timed. I mean, honestly, Zan is putting his own third base down pretty much now, so it's not like this is a crazy early fourth base from our Zerg player, and this fourth base is just going to land from Zan, and it's going to be able to start mining over there. So these Hellions starting to come across the map as Rhaegar's going to kind of fall back with these lings, and his creep's starting to look pretty decent as well, coming through the middle. A couple of Banshees still out on the map, and they're going to come around this right hand side. 4 and 0 kills on them so far, so let's see how much damage they can get done here as they're going to start picking off these drones. There's actually not a Spore Crawler over here. He was kind of relying on the Overseer and the Queens before now. This Spore Crawler is going to go down. These Queens are in trouble too, because first 2 shots here, ooh, he just gets the transfuse on that. But these Banshees are still going to be able to trade against these Queens very nicely, and that's going to leave this third base completely open to these Banshees just continue doing damage. Mutalisks are on the way out now, and the Banshees will start to fall. This one's gone himself up to 6, 7, 8 kills here before he dies. Overall, that's 20 workers killed by Zan, and good damage done once again as Rhaegar starts to move across the map with his Mutalisks. Turret already in place though, and these aren't going to do all too much damage at the start of this, and has to be careful not to lose these. Does turn around as I mean, this has been a great start to the game for Zan. He's done a lot of worker damage from the start, and his upgrades are looking good as well. He's 2-2s now on the way. He's having an afford to get ready to play against the Mutalisks, while they're having a bunch of mines coming into his army as well. And Zan looking good right now. 20 supply up, not the usual position you'd want to be in as a Zerg player, down in supply against the Terran. Fourth base has finished for Rhaegar, but he's yet to really use it at all. He's not really had the opportunity to just yet, so waiting for that to kind of come into play, as some lings do come around this side of the map as well, and it's looking for the chance of a run by here maybe once the Terran player moves out, but not really that possibility isn't there just yet. Even when it does come in, Zan is pretty well protected here. Bunker, depots, going to be able to, he's pretty much all blocked off, so not too much will actually end up going down if anything kind of runs into this base. Drilling claws on the way for him. Combat shields as well. Pretty late combat shields. Stim pack finished a little while ago. I mean, he did open Hellion Banshee or Hellbat Banshee, but still doesn't have that combat shields yet. He's definitely forgotten about that for a little while. So it will come in here soon before any kind of major, well, I say before any major fight takes place, but he is coming across the map. A mine picked off here immediately by Rhaegar. Nice control of the Mutalisks. Beginning to lose his creep. There's the run by, and oh, there's a fair amount of whoa, it actually doesn't kill a single worker, so not so great in the end here, just kind of blown up on nothing. And Overlord gets taken down by a couple of turrets, and Zan is actually pushing down the right hand side of this map, scanning and stimming forward here, and he's going to come in for an attack on this third base. And well, our Zerg player, how does he come into this? How does he fight into this army? It's not going to be the best of engagements for him. Let's see how well he does as he comes forward here. And it looks as though he's going to get a pretty decent set of Baneling hits, but even then he only just has enough to kind of turn this around. And I mean, there's still mines out here. No, Muta's going to go down to the mine. Oh no, actually I think that was a Zergling instead. Mines are going to get cleaned up, so just enough for Rhaegar to hold on, but a very close fight in the end there. I mean, already reinforcements for Zano out and ready at home. He's going to be able to start pulling these and getting these into the action pretty quickly here if you would like to. I keep hitting the hotkey button, don't mean to. 4 pops out, and Infestation Pit now on the way for Rhaegar, so looking to kind of continue teching in this game. The turret's about to go down here, and that's 1 turret down, and maybe another couple to follow. Not just yet though, as these units start to head westwards across. Well, actually just heading into the middle of the map right now. Looking as though he's going to try and come towards this 4th base. I mean, Rhaegar doesn't have any idea about this. His creep, okay, now he sees it with some lings, so now he kind of knows about this, but Zan's going to actually scan and start taking out a creep teamer. He's coming towards this 4th base. This is his target right now. Is there going to be enough for Rhaegar to defend this time around? Because these units are already stimming in. A couple of them already combining a mineral line. A nice bin hit there initially. A couple of mine hits going off already. As these Mutalisks try to initialize an engagement, a few Banelings starting to roll forward here, and this is probably the opportunity for Rhaegar to defend, as Zan has taken the supply, still got a supply lead, 20 supply up, and here we go, these Mutals are going to come in, and, well, Banelings coming in as well, going to be able to, ooh, a huge mine hit actually on them Banelings. I thought it was going to be okay, but no. Yeah, I thought he was going to clean up, but that one mine hit took down the rest of the Banelings. He will clean up here, but the damage is kind of already done. Well, actually, he's only lost 5 meters. I thought he had a lot more meters than this originally. I guess he only ever had 12. But still, I mean, that means he's only on 7 meters in total, which isn't kind of the scary muted death ball, which you're used to seeing at 90 minutes into the game from a Zerg player. It's not, the situation he wants to be in. He needs more Mutalisks. He's actually going to start making swarm hosts now to try and just survive, I guess. I mean, generally, it's just kind of a desperation move, I think, at this point. I think he's just trying to say, I'm behind, I need something which can trade efficiently. So so I'm going to try and, do that with the Swarm Hosts, which are kind of the most efficient unit the Zerg player has without having to go into Great Aspire for the Broodlords. Drop over here actually going to be able to do a little bit. A few Banelings starting to clear out. The Mutas do end up cleaning up the medevac, but the 4th base is under attack once again. Not too big of an army, honestly, from Zan, and Rhaegar shouldn't have too much of an issue pushing this one back, as he does get rid of the majority of this here. And a few Banelings hitting the 4, not really what was ideal, as the 4 actually picks up. Mutalisk's going to turn this away. Zan already pulling his next wave of reinforcements, though, heading across the map with these, stimming them forward, trying to get them over here as fast as possible. As the 4 drops out of the medevac, he scans, he cleans up some more of this creep spread. And I mean, the situation here for Rhaegar just seems to get worse and worse and worse. His creep continues to be denied. The Terran player just keeps throwing wave after wave of units towards him. He's got a planetary fortress up and at his 4th base, so his economy is in pretty good shape. He's on. I mean, the good thing for Rhaegar is he's got 80 workers, but he lost the 4th base now, and he's only got 3 bases to mine from. Now, as the Lings and Banelings are going to come forward here, and as 4 goes off on the Mutalisks. Marines to the right aren't actually split up at all, so a big Baneling hit there. 4th base denied once again, though, and that's going to be a key factor in this, as someone's pinging up there. Zan's going to go for a Doom Drop straight into the natural here. How much damage can this do? As the Zerg player isn't in position at all. These Locusts aren't going to be able to help. No way they're going to be able to help. Mutalisks coming in here, but all the Mutalisks are going to go down. It's a massacre. All of the Mutalisks die, and now the Baneling nest will fall. Oh, this is not going well for Rhaegar. In fact, now Zan with a 50 supply lead. This was a huge move by Zan, and an even huger move that Rhaegar didn't control his Mutalisks during this. He loses his 4 here in the end. He's just redropping his Marines out one at a time, just trading as much as he can. They actually gets rid of pretty much every single Baneling here. Now he's just going to lift up, leave again. He can maybe drop the 4th to try and take down this base. And I mean, look at his reinforcements at home. Also double drop into the 3rd base too. Rhaegar is continuing to hurt here. What can he do? I mean, he loses another base, and he's going to lose this base as well. This 4 is going to take this down pretty quickly. It's got 200 health left, and after this dies, he's only got 2 hatcheries on the map. Well, he's got a macro hatch as well. Double drop comes into the main base. Now, is there even units to clean this up anymore? I don't think there is. Infestation pit being targeted down. Marines are going to just absolutely destroy these Zerglings without any issue at all. Picks up, just going to get away. He might lose the medevac. No, doesn't even lose the medevac. He's just going to drop over here and kill off some more workers. And Rhaegar, now 120 supply down. Really doesn't have much hope in this game, as this army from Zan continues to move across the map once again, looking for another wave of an attack here. Cleaning up some more creep as he goes. And this is kind of like the only creep line which Rhaegar really had going for him anymore. As these medevacs just going to join up with the main army. Command Center's coming down for Zan. He's just preparing to continue on in this game should he need to. I mean, Stormhost's forced to unburrow here. He's actually going to lose a ton of Overlords, and that's actually going to supply block him at 78 supply. GG called, and just like that, we're going to see IvD Gaming even up this series 2-2 right now. So after 4 games, it started off really well for Siege. Solo getting some great initial kills in, but in the end, IvD Gaming have brought it back with Zan, taking the series to 2-2. Zan completely returned the favour now. Solo takes down 2, now Zan takes down 2. And, yeah, we're going to go into game number, We're going to go into game number 5 after this quick commercial break, guys. If you're enjoying the show, do hit the follow button. It is appreciated. And yeah, we'll be back in a few moments' time with this next game. So don't go too far, guys. Game number 5 on the way. It is actually going to be Zan versus Prebz from Seed Gaming this time. So another TVZ. And Prebz, will he be able to take down Zan and put Seed on match point? Or will Zan take 3 in a row to put match point in IvD's hands and to take the lead for them for the first time here today? We'll be finding out after this quick commercial break, guys. Don't go too far. This is SC2 Team League America, and we'll be... How is everyone doing, guys, as we come in to game number 5 here of IvD Gaming versus Seed Gaming. Seed started with a 2-0 advantage here after Solo took a couple of quick, well, not really very quick, but one longer game and one shorter game. He took 2 games very in a pretty convincing fashion, I should say, to take Seed to a 2-0 advantage. However, Zan came out, he put a stop to that, and then he took down Rego as well to pull us back to level pegging 2-2 right now in this best of 7 all kill here. We're currently casting from replays. After this best of 7 all kill, we'll be going straight into IvD Gaming versus Micro Gamers Academy live, and that'll be straight after this IvD versus Seed. So we'll be going straight into that match after this one. So a ton more SC2 Improved Team League America games to still come out this evening. As we get into game number 5 right now, it is Deadwing. For another TVZ, he has Seed send out their 3rd Zerg player in a row. This time it's going to be Prebz. And let's see how they do. In the upper left hand corner, the blue Terran player from IvD Game with 2 kills in a row so far. It's Zan. And down in the lower right, the yellow Zerg player from Seed Gaming, Prebz. The 3rd Zerg player out from them here. Can he take Seed onto match point? Or will it be IvD who will be celebrating match point in a few moments' time? Well, maybe not a few moments, but after this next game. You know, very scary once you go into match point, because whoever has match point, you know, they've got a couple of opportunities still to win, whereas the last person out from IvD will have to win 2 in a row, and it's definitely not easy against, you know, the players that both of these teams have available to them. So let's see what happens here as Prebz has his hatchery up. He's going to start mining from this down here as the command center on the way for a Terran, and the first Reaper on the way up for Zan as well right now. So let's see how this is going to go. I mean, it's going to be actually a factory coming down straight away here. So is this the first Reaper? No, it isn't. This is the first Reaper, isn't it? So first Reaper's actually already down here. I was thinking I was a bit off, but I couldn't see the Reaper on the minimap for some reason. So yeah, Reaper actually already on the way down here. The second Reaper is actually just going to stay at home for now, and that's a good thing because 4 Zerglings are actually on the way across the map. So it's a good thing that this Reaper stays at home so that the command center will not be cancelled. This Reaper is actually just going to jump down. It's not going to jump up into the main base just yet. It doesn't want to get any more information on it has other than where the Zerg player is right now. These 4 Lings coming forward here. This Reaper is not going to get surrounded, as we saw Rego do against Zan in the last game. May actually manage to get himself a work kill here, as these Lings are giving chase to this SCV, and it's kind of close. It's 1 hit from dying here, as this Ling does get it. So nice little you know, turn of events in the NTA for Prebz. He gets a work kill for this, and second Reaper actually comes all the way back home just to realise that his Reaper bro has actually done all the work for him. And he's already killed off absolutely everything. As a starport comes down here for the 3rd time in a row from Zan, second gas is down for him. So again, either kind of going to be some kind of Hellbat build, maybe a Banshee, maybe Medivacs. We'll just have to wait and see what exactly it's going to be. We do see a tech lab on the way down for the of the barracks, so most likely going to be Banshee here once again from Zan. And I mean, we're cross position Deadwing. It's a very large map. I feel like Banshee is a good way to open it. I mean, it's safe. It's very safe because you can, you know, you can always, you know, nothing early game really shoots up for the Zerg that can come to your side of the map to be aggressive. So, yeah, intriguing to see how this is going to turn out overall. As the first few Hellions are coming out of here for Zan and going to be getting ready to move across the map very, very soon. Banshee is on the way out as well. Cloak starts up, and first 4 Hellions will combine with the Reapers to make the Reaper Hellion squad heading across the map right now. We'll head across here, and we'll be greeted by 3 Queens already at the front and waiting by this 3rd base. So 3 Queens already here in position, and this Hellion Reaper, we'll see if it wants to go anywhere at all. See where it's going to end up as Zan takes this tower, and now he's actually just going to come down and see if he can get anything done at the front. Can he pick off a creep tumor or not? Doesn't quite get a creep tumor here. Maybe if he gets some splash damage by hitting the Queens. Doesn't look as though he'll try and bother. First Banshee is out. Cloak on the way. Baneling Nest already on the way down here for Prebz, so nice and quick Baneling Nest just in case he needs it. He gets any kind of aggression from the Terran player. The Terran player trying to break through into the natural here. The Zerg is going to try and block for a little while. A Queen comes forward, going to funnel these units through. The Queen's from behind doing a lot of damage here. But workers are falling for Prebz. He does now actually have to pull them away. But the majority of these Hellions and Reapers are taken down. But that leaves a lot of drones on very low hit points, and that will allow the Banshee to come in here and one-shot a few of them. Overall, it is 11 workers killed by Zan, so not too bad of a start. 11 workers for 6 Hellions and 2 Reapers. You know, it's pretty much there about worthwhile. He loses a lot of his map control for it, but he does still have Banshees up. Where's that first Banshee gone? Am I completely blind today? Okay, there it is. Just over here, so not actually committing too much with the Banshee just yet. Now he cloaks up and comes in. The Queen actually already here to greet it though. 2 workers will go down. Not too much else though. Ling's turning around from the middle of the map and coming back home as well here. So Banshee's still doing a little bit of damage. He's actually picked up 3 kills now and going to get a 4th as the drones keep coming onto this 1 mineral patch. And there's this 1 mineral patch which is allowing this Banshee to get so many kills. That's actually 6 now, going up to 7. Prebz really losing a lot of workers. And the 3rd command center is just on the way up here for Zan. He's only 8 workers behind, so he's in a pretty good spot. And whoa, he's going to try and get this 1 Queen. The Queen turns away, the Banshee gets away as well. Nothing lost overall here. 6 more Hellions ready to go for Zan. And it looks as though he's just going to try and come up into this base and just go for it. Try and roast some more drones. There's already a couple of Queens in position though, but so many drones actually already going down. Prebz has to pull his workers now. And 1 Queen really needs a transfuse. He doesn't get it though. And Queen will fall. Zerglings having to be pulled back from the middle of the map once again. And Prebz continues to take a fair amount of damage here. It's actually 30 workers killed in total. Well, 29 workers killed in total. This Banshee's kind of come all the way back home. I had 9 kills in total, so the Hellion run-bys have done 20 workers worth of damage. It's a lot of damage to be taken very early on in this game. Prebz is, I mean, he still maintains a 7-worker lead, and I guess a lot of that is to do with this, with how delayed this 3rd base was, but if he'd been able to deflect this, I mean, I guess one big thing is as well, he's killed off a lot of Hellions for it, so you know, he's lost a lot, but so is the Terran player. He's lost all of the Hellions. He remade a lot more Hellions. That will slow down his, you know, his barracks production. You know, how quickly he can add these barracks on. So his barracks are only just getting the reactors now, at about the 12-minute mark. So his production's only really just going to start kicking in now. The Zerg player already with 2-2 on the way, and that's something else which the Terran player sacrificed for that Banshee and for that Banshee and the Hellions early in the game. The 1-1 upgrades are 30 seconds away from him still, while the 2-2 for the Zerg is, you know, again, well underway. Gets about a minute of the way through the production, and that will give the Zerg a few opportunities here to attack with an upgrade advantage, and that can be kind of deadly for the Terran player if he's not very careful. So Zan begins to move out with a couple of medevacs, a few units heading down towards this tower. Looks as though he may try and pick up and drop, may just try and harass this base on the low ground here and abuse the kind of position of this base. And now he actually changes direction. He's just going to try and clean up some creep here. He's going to get a couple of Queens and a lot of the active tumors as well. Transfuse comes down, keeps one of these Queens alive for a little bit longer, but not long enough, as it buys enough time for these Zerglings to get here. Binion's go off on a Marauder, so not the best of trade from Prebz in the end, as Zan just picks up and goes home. Didn't have a scan available, otherwise he could have killed off a lot more of that creep. Just heads back home right now. Just going to group up with the rest of his units which have been coming out here. Prebz, with the first few Mutalisks starting to hit the map again, he's just getting into this standard Mutaling Bane composition. Looks as though he's going to try and go straight in towards the natural here of his opponent, Zan, with just a turret up right now. A couple of Lings over here for Prebz, and Nothing actually really happening on this base just yet. Did he actually? Okay, I think he tried to fly into the third base, not the natural of the mutas, and he didn't get much done. There was a turret in position, and Zan's actually on a march across the map. Infestation pit on the way here for Prebz, so pretty early infestation pit. Generally we see players stick to that muta zergling baneling style for as long as possible, just because they don't usually feel they've got the time to head into the infestation pit. But for whatever reason, Prebz feels like you can hear the mine hits are pretty huge, and all of the banelings go down while Zan just picks up. He takes a fairly big amount of damage himself to his army, but he gets out of there with a fair few marines. The medevacs survive as well, and that's kind of the main factor here, as the last couple of marines and mines get cleaned up on the edge of this creep for the Zerg player. A couple of active tumors still over here. Maybe wants to try and focus getting these up here. It looks as though he's got a queen on the way to fill in that gap though. 20 more lings, a few more mutas on the way, and a hive starting up for Prebz. So that infestation pit giving him an opportunity to go into hive and head towards 3-3, but it'll still be a little while before that really comes into play here. As the scan comes down, we're going to see some creep tumors begin to get cleaned up. In fact, quite a lot of creep tumors getting cleaned up. Another scan would take out the majority of this. One more scan to take out the one creep tumor over to this side. We do see the mutas heading towards the main base, but they're going to regroup and just kill off the marine on the tower instead. Zan continues to push forward here. Going to pick off an overseer and another scan to get some more creep. There's a lot of Ling Bane though. Mutas are coming back as well. At the same time, a drop is going down in the natural. It looks as though this army's cleaned up pretty quickly. This dropship is killing off, or this drop is killing off a fair few workers. The queen's going to go down as well here. Prebz taking a long time to react to this, as drop's now going to come into the main base as well. Zan is doing his, is multitasking his heart out right now. Queen just survives, and that does get cleaned up. The natural's cleaned up as well. But, well, 10 more workers overall here by Zan as he takes it up to 39. But he actually loses his medevacs, and that's the majority of his medevacs. In fact, only 2 remain. So he loses all of his medevacs here, and that's a big loss for the Terran player. It's something you don't really want to be remaking. Or, what you really want is you just want a large number of them. You don't want to be stuck on only 2, because not only does it limit, your drops, it really limits the efficiency of your army as the game goes on. So Zan, he's reinforcing now. Some more units coming out of this main base of the Terran player. Reinforcements continue to come in. He has mutas just kind of fly around. Looks as though they got hit by a mine. But continue to just clean up whatever's out on the map. Ultra's Cavern on the way. He has that hive, showing what he wanted to use that for. It is the Ultra Cavern. No 3-3 just yet for our Zerg player. Doesn't really have the gas to go into that. Just yet, not alongside this Ultra Cavern at least, as the Terran player begins to come onto the edge of this creep, and our Zerg player is nearby. Yeah, we'll just retreat for now. Zan not yet scanning to clean up this creep spread. As Prebz is actually just going to go in, and he's actually got a Perlians around here, and oh my god, the mine hits are huge! The mine hits go off on a lot of the marines for Zan, and you can see here all of these marines are very, very damaged, and that's actually really painful for him. He's going to try and, excuse the horrible observing, he's going to just try and drop off and survive, but a lot of these marines will fall. Mira's maybe going in a little bit too far though, as a lot of marines were coming in from Zan and his reinforcements here. But that was a great fight for Prebz. Their mines really working against Zan there at the start of that kind of chase down. And now Ultralisk's on the way, +3 on the way as well for our Zerg player, and this is the point of the game where you start worrying for the Terran. You start worrying how will he deal with the Ultras if they start getting into crazy numbers. There's so many Mutalisks on the map. We've even seen a few more Mutalisks being added on still. 4, and Muta's actually taking a lot of damage. This is really bad. I was just saying there's so many Mutas on the map and more were coming out, but now he's only just going to have just as many as he had moments ago, so Prebz, a little bit of a mistake here, a little bit sloppy in all honesty, as he groups up once again with Ling Bane Ultra now back in the middle of his creep. 5th base on the way for him, so starting to get settled into further in his economy here. Creep still spreading despite how many times Zan has come and scanned and killed it off. Prebz is always committed to Queen to come back here and to remake that creep, to put it down once again, to put a new creep tumor down, so that he's got the control of the map. As soon as the Terran player leaves his base, he either has to scan and walk slowly, or he has to come onto the creep, in which case Prebz gives himself an opportunity to come in for a surround, like we just saw in that last fight. He can surround and put himself into a really favourable engagement. And Marine coming down to the bottom left now for Zan, looking for any extra bases. The extra base is actually coming up over to the right hand side here for Prebz, as the Terran army just come onto the creep, and this may be the time where Prebz just says let's counterattack with these Mutalisks. He comes straight into the main base. A couple of turrets won't last too long here. They take down a couple of Mutas, mostly because they were flying by without really doing anything. Another turret's going to fall here. The repair isn't quite fast enough. SCV's fallen too as the Terran army all the way over to the right hand side of the map here. Going to be heading southwards towards that 5th base here very, very shortly. 4th base still not taken for Zan. He's really taking his time about this, considering his third's almost mined out. His natural's really far mined out. And his main even closer. Ultra's actually leading the charge into these Marines. They're going to go down pretty quickly, but the Banelings here are going to get some pretty big connections. Mine's going off though. And this was a bit of a massacre on either side. A lot of dead Zerg and Terran. And Muta's now retreating from this base, chased away by some Marines, coming back home to try and defend. 5th base does fall here, and Zan gains a little bit of momentum. He's going to be able to keep on moving forward with this. And how much can he get done with it? 5 more ultras on the way already. Some Banelings out, and 60 more Zerglings is absolutely key here for Prebz to be able to turn this around. He's keeping his Mutas on his opponent's side of the map. He's looking to keep over here and to try and keep doing damage, keep units in the main base of Zan. Zan just going to back away from this 5th base. He doesn't want to do anything else just yet, so he will just back off for now. As Prebz continues to just build up his army. He's 6 ultras coming out, plus 3 armors about to finish for them. They're going to be extremely strong, extremely scary to fight against for the Terran player. And these Mutas kind of flying around looking for an opportunity here, and they're going to come into the 4s, and 4s get some good shots off. Don't get any kills, but definitely weaken their Mutas for a little while. As Zan coming all the way back home to greet with his reinforcements, also securing a 4th base for himself here. So he's just going to take a moment to relax, but it's actually going to be Prebz who's maybe pressing the issue right now. The single Marine denying the drone over here from expanding. Single mine left over here as well. And I'm not sure what Prebz is coming all the way down here for. Looks as though he's going to go straight back, straight up this alleyway of creep. And may look for a fight against the Terran player. As the Terran once again begin to move out, both players maxed out. How good of an engagement can Prebz take? He's going to have a huge concave here if he wants to just come in and take it, and he will. And the Zerglings are come in from behind. And the initial Baneling hits are absolutely huge. Devastating hits onto these Marines. The Marines keep falling, and Zan gets absolutely demolished in this engagement. What a fight from Prebz, using the whole length of the creep to his advantage. Gets into a concave, comes in from pretty much every angle because of it. Or comes in a massive arc at least, and just absolutely overruns his opponent. The Baneling hits were huge. Zan didn't have time to react, and Prebz leaps on the opportunity to take down his Terran opponent here, and Zan will fall in game number 5, and SC2ITL Gaming are going to continue to push the push the limits and break records against IvD Gaming in this season of SC2ITL America. Remember, before this match, IvD Gaming had lost 3 maps throughout the entire tournament. And yet now they're about to have lost 3 maps in a single match. It's absolutely crazy. SC2ITL Gaming showing they mean business here today, as Mutas continue to do some more damage, and SCV's coming back, but they're going to get taken down pretty quickly. Zan slowly rebuilding here. He still has 50 SCVs, he still has 4 bases, so he still has an economy, but can he last long enough? The Baneling's coming forward here once again. The Baneling connections are magnificent. And I mean, pretty much everything falls with a lot of hurt SCVs over here. There's just nothing to stop these ultralisks. Even the Sim City isn't really affecting them too much. There's just not enough Terran to kind of clean it up. And Zan is victorious there. Prebz is victorious, taking down Zan and taking the scoreline to 3-2 in favour of SC2ITL Gaming. GG's well played. And SC2ITL take it on to match point here. So, best of 7 all kill for game number 6 on the way. SC2ITL Gaming, Prebz, the opportunity to close this out right now. It's going to be a ZVZ. Amnesia will be the next player from IvD Gaming. Again, a player I actually don't know all too much about from IvD. So interesting to see him coming out as their ace player, but he must be good. If they're going to send him out now when they're on the verge of losing, he's going to have to win 2 maps in a row if he wants to take this victory. We'll find out what that whether he can in a few moments' time. We're going to hear a quick commercial break here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is the SC2 Improved Team League America. I'm Wardy. We'll be back here in 3 minutes' time with game number 6. This is Amnesia versus Prebz. Welcome back, guys, as we're going to go into game number 6 of IvD Gaming versus SC2ITL. We're going to be getting into this in a couple moments' time, as I'm just setting up the scoreboard ready for us to get into this. It's match point right now for SC2ITL, and Prebz is going to look to take advantage of that as he goes into this game against Amnesia, who is AKA as no regret, as Revolution informed me in the chat. So here we go into ZVZ, I think. Did we see ZVZ earlier? Who started? It was Solo versus Oh wow. Solo versus Bones, that was a ZVP, and then Solo won in a ZVT. So this is our first ZVT of the evening here, guys. I think. Unless I'm imagining something. Is that Amnesia? No, it is our first ZVT of the evening. Okay. So let's get into this game. I'm going to call him Amnesia because it's on the screen, and otherwise I will get confused. He is in the upper right hand corner from IvD Gaming as the blue Zerg. In the upper left hand corner we have the yellow Zerg player from Seed Gaming. It's going to be Prebz. That is in the upper left hand corner here. So a ZVZ to lighten our souls, lighten our hearts, to bring us some joy here as we head into game number 6. Again, in about pretty straight, it's 20 minutes until IvD versus Micro Gamers Academy start. I'm sure they will wait for us. So about 20 minutes time we will go live, or 20 minutes or just after that. Straight after this series we will be going into a live match between IvD Gaming and Micro Gamers Academy. A must-win match for Micro Gamers Academy if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive as well. So kind of a lot on the line. I'll actually maybe go through the where the after this match, we'll maybe evaluate where the teams stand in terms of advancing to the playoffs from Group B of the SC2ITL America. So yeah, both these players open with a pool first, and actually it's gas already on the way here from Amnesia. So very quickly heading into a gas straight after his hatchery, and so just pool, hatch, gas. Perhaps still with the opportunity to put down a gas. I mean, that gas is fairly quick, I would say, from Amnesia, so we could still see a gas here from Prebz, or we might see him just try and play gasless. Now, there's a few things on the way out for both of these guys. Already 6 lings actually on the way from Amnesia, who hits a little bit of a supply block here to get them out as fast as possible, it seems. Extractor tricking for a moment to be able to do this. So 6 lings for Amnesia, just a couple for Prebz, and Prebz actually sees these 6 lings coming across the map, so he has to actually be a little bit careful here. I mean, he sees them coming across, and he knows now immediately he has to get something up to be able to defend this. I mean, he's got a queen on the way, so he's got a queen on the way. He should be okay. These things might get a little bit... Yeah, okay, there's a queen. I was going to say, surely he has a queen out already, and there it is. I was having a bit of trouble seeing it. Maybe I'm blind. Whatever. Queen, a single Zerg here, a couple more lings on the way down. Should be enough to keep this queen alive, and yeah, this should be enough to... clean this up. It's actually going to be kind of close on this queen. It's going to have to start kiting away. There's only 2 lings left. It's going to be pretty close, but he keeps it alive in the end. Nice little players. Great scouting here by Prebz. Sees everything in the main base of his opponent. He's going to see that Zergling speed is already on the way, and he will know, of course, that it's only going to be 100 gas mines, so he knows that... oh, as he even picks off a drone here. Really nice. So yeah, Amnesia, he only mines 100 gas, he starts up ling speed, but that's it, no more gas for him just yet, so it's going to be a little while before he gets into a Bane nest. A few lings actually in here now for Prebz, doing a little bit of damage, and is that another worker kill? No, not quite. But doing a little bit of damage there, counter-tracking across the map with them few Zerglings. With his own Bane nest on the way here, it's going to be a lot of Zerglings on the way from Amnesia. Always a possibility when you start mining at 100 just to go into pure mineral mode to get as many Zerglings out as you can. And Amnesia is going to try and move across the map here with a ton of Zerglings all at the same time. Is Prebz going to be ready for this? His Bane nest is on the way. He's only halfway done though. His own Ling's on the way out as well. I feel as though he should be able to hold this. I feel as though he's getting enough out in enough time to be able to do this. I'm pretty sure he should be able to, as a drone's actually here going to start building a spine crawler, so Amnesia is going to try and force Prebz to fight before he maybe wants to. Prebz getting his queen surrounded pretty quickly here. None of them transfused as drones are pulled. Is there enough Zerglings, or is Amnesia just going to have way too much? I think Prebz is still okay. His Bane nest is finished, but he doesn't quite have the opportunity, the time to morph in a couple of Banelings. All he needs is 2 Banelings and he should be alright, and now we do see a couple of Banelings on the way, so more drones going to start falling for him. That spine crawler keeps coming up though, and you know, I mean, this is the problem. Prebz, he can't leave it, you know, he can't wait all day because the spine crawler's on the way. Is he going to win this fight on the bog ground? It's going to be very close. One Baneling goes down. And, well, now he's going to come in with another Baneling. It looks as though he's going to clean this up. He uses all of his Banelings to clean that spine up. And Amnesia actually comes out of this. He has a lot more Lings on the way, and Prebz might just... does he have enough? I think he, with reinforcements on the way out, he should just be able to hold on here. Comes back to the ramp to take the fight, and well, he's just going to lose one Baneling just before it morphs in. Amnesia still just swarming forward with a lot of Zerglings and Prebz. Oh, he might be in trouble actually, as a couple of Banelings try and come in, but they're not going to be anywhere near in time, and Amnesia just comes up the ramp. He's just going to try and finish it right now, and he comes up here. Prebz, what does he have left? Some more Zerglings in production, but I get the feeling they're just a little bit too late. These Banelings will finish moving on top of the ramp. What kind of connections can they get over here as these Zerglings just go to town on the drones, and there's the Baneling going down. With that Baneling dead, that means it's literally just Zerglings right now for Prebz, and not as many as Amnesia has, as more and more come through into the main base. And well, we're just going to see this natural expansion targeted down. Well, he's actually going to come back up into the main. He's saying, why wait when you can just go right now? He's just going to even commit onto these Banelings. He feels like you can get them down fast enough, and he can. And now we're just going to see this big fight in the mineral line, and it should be Amnesia who comes out on top, and Prebz GG's, and just like that, we're going to an ace match of game number 7 between IvD Gaming and Seed Gaming. What an absolutely bonkers series this is. Crazy. What a crazy series this is altogether. I mean, what can we say? I mean, it's just been fantastic so far. To get a game 7 out of these two teams is amazing. I mean, Seed have done so well to get even 3 maps off IvD. Now they go into game 7. It's going to be another ZVZ. How long has it been since we ran? Trying to think what to do. Should we run a commercial, or should we just go straight into it? How long we got until we go live with... Okay, because we've only got 15 minutes, guys, we're going to skip the commercial break. We're going to go straight into game number 7. As this game loads up, I'd like to mention our sponsors. Zowie Gear, you can check them out at zowiegear.com. They are a peripheral sponsor for this league. And Let's Kung Fu, you can check them out at youtube.com/filthyrake. He's just a guy who loves StarCraft, and he casts some StarCraft, and he does some cool StarCraft videos. Go check him out. Guys, it's best of 7 right now, and we're in game number 7. That means this is the ace match. It's the final game. Let's see what happens as Amnesia. We just saw him take down Prebz. We're now going to see him on Foxtrot Labs as the blue Zerg play in the bottom left-hand corner. Going up against in the upper right, the pink Zerg player from Seed Gaming. It's Revolution. Alright, so let's see what's going to happen in this game. It looks as though it's going to be a 10 pull from Revolution, so maybe going to try and cheese out Amnesia, just as Amnesia tried to did cheese out Prebz in game 6. So game 7, ace match, and Revolution puts everything on the line with a 10 pull. Okay, so while we wait here to see what Amnesia is going to do, see how he's going to react to this, let's see what the chat's saying. Prebz would hold so easily if attack came 5 seconds later from SC2ITL. Probably would have helped quite a lot to have that link speed in. Good night, boss. Thank you for subscribing. Hello, KMC Constantine. Can you do anything to get us on the featured stream list on Team Liquid? I don't think so. I don't think we get anywhere near the viewership needed to get on there. The best thing you can do if you want to support us is to just simply watch the stream whenever we're live and whenever you have time and the interest to watch. And that's the best thing you can do. Alright, so Ling's on the way out here for Revolution. It was a pool, followed by Hatch and Gas once again from Amnesia, so he's got a pretty decent chance of holding this off. However, the Overlord is not going to see this until very, very late. He's still not going to see it. I mean, the Lings are actually probably going to be at his natural before he sees this. Okay, he's actually going to spot with the Overlord in the middle. So, he's going to come through the middle here. Now he sees this. So immediately now Amnesia knows what's coming towards him. Revolution starts up a bin nest. Oh my god, I'm so blind. I didn't even mention that he's got a gas here. So he's actually started up speed and gas. Wow, I started talking to the chat too much. Kill me, kill me. That's why you should pay attention to the game and not the chat. So Lings are going to start getting taken down here. Revolution with a good start is going to speed over halfway done. They're going to start coming up in towards this main base. He's going to turn around, try and get a cancel on this hatchery. as he's going to, I mean, he's just going to try and buy as much time as he can by coming down here and fighting as much as he can, and try and do whatever he can, trying to get these lings to come off this hatchery. He actually cancels his spine crawler. I'm not sure he really realizes the risk here. I think he needs that. I think he really needs that, in fact, because, I mean, Zergling's speed's about to kick in for Revolution. He actually wins this fight on the low ground already. His queen's going to get surrounded here, and the Baneling Nest might not even be needed for Revolution. He is going to back off just for now. He's going to go back onto this hatchery. These drones aren't mining right now. There's only a single drone mining gas, and there's the Banelings on the way for Revolution, and that's really going to make the difference here. Speed kicks in as well. He's going to come in. He's going to start taking down some of these drones, and Amnesia, has he made a little bit too much of a mistake by trying to hold this natural? I think he very well may have. The Queen's going to go down here. The Banelings are out, and Banelings are going to go off, killing off some of these Zerglings, and then Revolution, he does it. He cheeses him out, and Seed take the victory 4-3. And wow, just like that. In 5 minutes, after so many long macro games in this series, Revolution cheeses out his opponent in 5 minutes in the ace match. And that takes balls to do that in the ace match. And just like that, Game 7 goes Seed's way, and Seed are the first team to defeat IvD this season. Definitely not the strongest lineup out of IvD, but not to take anything away from Seed. They played their hearts out today, and they well deserved this victory. 4-3. And with that, they keep their playoff hopes alive. Keeping their playoff hopes alive, it kind of comes down to Dust Gaming now, as I said before. To actually give you guys a full idea of what is the current standings are. So I did work this out before. Where did I put it? I don't actually. Okay, so Solaris are currently 100% in the playoffs because they've got a 6-3 scoreline and they've got plus 14 map score. So even if Dust overtake them and go 7-2, then there's no way Solaris can drop down because they'll at least finish third. So Solaris are guaranteed a playoff spot. With 2 games left to play, Dust sit at 5-2 and a plus 12 map score, and with 1 game left to play each, Seed and Microgamers Academy have a plus 3 map score and 1 game left to play. So Seed need Dust to lose both of their games to be able to qualify into the playoffs. And the same will go for Microgamers Academy as well. But Microgamers Academy do have... Oh, actually, sorry, Seed have to win tomorrow as well. They've actually got 1 match remaining. So Seed have to win tomorrow and then hope Dust lose both of their games. And the same thing goes for Microgamers Academy. They have to win tonight against IvD Gaming, which is starting in 10 minutes. They have to win against IvD, and then they have to hope Dust loses both matches. And then they have to hope that they either beat Seed or they've got a better map score than Seed. So it's very, very... It's very, very close in Group B. I don't have the completely updated table to show you guys, so apologies for that. So anyways, we're going to go into a live match now. 10 minutes time, IvD versus Microgamers Academy will be beginning. So we're going to take commercial breaks, some music for 10 minutes, and when we come back, it'll be Microgamers Academy against IvD for another best of 7 all-kill series. And we'll see if IvD are going to take the victory this time around in their final game of the group stage. Yeah, so... Let's take a break, guys. We'll be back in 10 minutes. It'll be IvD Gaming versus Microgamers Academy. Don't go too far. Tell you what, I'm just going to very quickly change the scoreboard so that you guys can see what match it is when I BRB and change the screen. So give me a quick moment here, guys. If you're enjoying the show, again, follow button. You know where it is if you want to follow. It's the best thing you can do to support us because it means you can see when we go live again in the future. If you can see when we go live, guess what? You can come watch us again, and that's the best thing you can do to support the SC2 Improve content if you enjoy it. So, guys, we'll be back shortly with another best of 7 all-kill IvD versus